All right, so we're going to talk about finger families for the viola. Now, finger families for the viola are exactly the same as the violin. It doesn't change. We play these instruments identically. So if you want to watch the finger families for the violin, you can do so. It's exactly the same. But I figured since I'm doing it for the cello and the bass, I might as well do it for the violas as well. So for finger families, up until now, we've definitely learned how to do the major finger family. That's where 2 and 3 touch. Now we need to add the 4th finger to that. We should definitely be practicing 4th fingers at this point, just getting that 4th finger in tune and to sound like the next string over. So right now I want to start with that major finger family, even though it's the second of the families on the sheet, just so you have something that you know how to do, and we're just going to add to it. So on the D string, you should have your 1st finger on the tape, 2nd finger stretched, 3rd finger touch, and then 4th finger stretched. This is our major finger family. When you play this, it should sound happy, and it should sound just like this. So make sure we're thinking it's exactly like your major scale. That's why, hence, major finger family. Now, to do the augmented, we're going to stretch the 3rd finger, so it's up near the 4th finger. So the 1st finger goes in the same spot, 2nd finger goes in the same spot as the major. Stretch the 3rd finger. This is what's different. You're going to stretch it so it's next to the 4th finger tape, and then 4th finger goes down. So 3 and 4 touch. And that's why in your music you'll see 2 lines connecting those notes. So this is your augmented. Then major, which we've already done, 2 and 3 touch. And then we get into the minor, so it's going to sound sadder, and you're going to have your 1st finger and 2nd finger touch. But anytime you have 1 and 2 touch, that means you got to stretch the 3, and then on top of that, we really have to stretch the 4. So when you play that minor and it doesn't sound quite right, it's probably because we're not stretching the 3rd finger high enough. And consequently, if you're not stretching the 3rd finger high enough, the 4th finger is not going to be high. So make sure you feel that stretch between 2 and 3. That's the hardest part. And then our last one, which is low. For low, you have to do the same sort of finger setup as our minor finger family, but you're going to have the low 1. So slide that 1st finger back. Notice my thumb stays put. So the thumb and the 1st finger don't line up when you do your low 1. But we keep it there so when we go back to high 1 that we know we have a reference point because we've left the thumb there. So make sure we're thinking about moving that 1st finger back and forth. And then when we do the low finger pattern, it's got to be really low. So this is what our low finger pattern sounds like. Ideally, you want to practice each one of these separate and then get very good at them. And then we put them in succession. So you just read them off the page, starting with augmented, then major, then minor, and then finishing with low. that's your finger families.